Antell here with Tucker's Tutorials. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a cool way to play the blues by adding some chromatic notes. You can find the sheet music on my website at tuckerantell.com. The link is below in the description. So if you're playing a blues solo and you want to add some other cool chromatic passing tones, a great way to start is to move chromatically between the third note of the major scale and the fifth note of the major scale. So if we're playing an F blues, that would mean that you would start at A and then go A, B flat, B natural, and end on C. So a few of you might recognize that this sounds a lot like the Thelonious Monk tune Blue Monk, and that's exactly right. It's a beautiful way to use the chromatic scale to slide around, which adds a different sort of sound, different sort of color to your blues playing. The tune Blue Monk, and if you're not familiar with it, it's a great idea to go learn that tune, also does that same thing starting on the 4 chords. So then when the chord becomes a B flat chord, it then becomes D, E flat, E, F. And you might think, well, how come those notes are okay to use in a solo if the notes aren't in the chord? And that's because you can essentially play any note when you're sliding around in the chromatic scale, as long as the note that you start on and the note that you end on are in the chord, or there are good notes in that scale, or resolved notes. So even if you're passing through some notes that sound really bad when you play them on their own, the sliding effect makes it sound all right. So a great way to start getting used to this kind of thing is to just start on the third and then end on the fifth, just like the tune Blue Monk does. And it's a good idea to think about where you're going to start and then be looking forward in your mind about where you're going to end, so that you don't get caught in the middle and ending on a note that's going to sound way too dissonant. Another note that you could add to this is you could start one chromatic note lower so that you give that third a little minor third lower neighbor. And so then you get more of a chromatic slide too. That's a very common thing in the blues as well. So instead of going A, B flat, B natural, C, we're going to start on A flat this time. A lot of blues licks will do that by starting on F and off the beat and sounding something like this. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. So practice those little chromatic runs over different chords and different keys, and try to incorporate them in your blues solo, as they're a great way to change up the sound of playing just the Mixolydian scale, or just the pentatonic scale, or whatever lick that you've been playing and learning. It's also a great way to get yourself introduced with this concept. So I hope you can apply that to the next solo that you take, and that you learn something. The next video is going to be on Wednesday, featuring something that I love to practice just about every single day. So stay tuned, and I'll see you then.